You're listening to the LoFi Music Academy podcast, your go-to space for all things lo-fi. Sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of lo-fi music production.
Hi, and welcome to the LoFi Music Academy podcast. I'm Spencer J, your guide through the chilled-out, atmospheric world of lo-fi beats. Today, we're diving into a topic that can truly elevate your lo-fi tracks: recording and using organic sounds. Organic sounds are what make lo-fi music feel real and raw. They bring a human touch to your beats, adding layers of texture and depth that you just can't get from digital instruments alone. Whether it's the sound of rain, footsteps, or the quiet clinking of dishes in a cafe, these subtle elements can take your track to the next level. So in today's episode, we'll be talking about how to record your own organic sounds, how to use them in your production, and some creative techniques to get the most out of them. First things first, why are organic sounds so important in lo-fi music? Lo-fi is all about creating atmosphere and emotion, and organic sounds are one of the best tools for doing just that. Think about your favourite lo-fi tracks for a second. You'll often hear subtle background sounds like rain falling, birds chirping, or even just city noise. These sounds help create a world for your listener to sink into. They transport you to a cosy coffee shop on a rainy day or a quiet night spent working late. Incorporating organic sounds also gives your music a sense of imperfection, which, as we've talked about before, is a key part of the lo-fi aesthetic. Lo-fi is about the beauty of the flawed, the raw and the natural. Now let's talk about how to capture those sounds. The great thing is, you don't need fancy gear to get started. If you have a smartphone, you already have everything you need to record organic sounds. Just open up the voice recorder app, head outside and start capturing the world around you. Pay attention to the details: leaves rustling, the sound of distant traffic, or even the hum of an old fridge. These simple sounds can become the backbone of a lo-fi track. If you want to take it a step further, you could invest in a portable field recorder like the Zoom H1N. These types of devices offer high quality recordings and more control over the input levels. But again, your phone will do just fine for most purposes. Here's some tips for field recording. Firstly, find quiet spots. While some background noise can add texture, you don't want too much interference. Look for environments where you can focus on capturing a specific sound without too much distraction. Next, record at different distances. Try recording up close and from further away. Close-up recordings capture more detail, while distant ones can blend better into the background. And lastly, capture multiple takes. Organic sounds can be very unpredictable, so record several takes to make sure you have options. Now that you've got your recordings, how do you actually use them in your lo-fi music productions? Here are a few simple ideas. Firstly, background ambience. Organic sounds work really well as a subtle ambient layer. For example, you can layer the sound of rain over a mellow piano loop to create a soothing vibe, or try using cafe chatter or street noise for a more urban late night feel. Next, percussive elements. Don't be afraid to get creative and turn organic sounds into percussion. Maybe the clinking of silverware becomes a hi-hat, or a door closing serves as the snare. You can chop up and manipulate these sounds in your DAW to fit in with the rhythm of your track. Lastly, transitions and effects. Use organic sounds to smooth out transitions between sections of your song. A swell of wind or a burst of crowd noise can seamlessly guide the listener from the verse into the chorus, or from one mood into another. Let's get into some creative ways to manipulate the sounds you've recorded. Firstly, time stretching. One simple trick is to stretch the sound out, slowing it down and lowering the pitch. This can make a mundane sound like footsteps or birds chirping feel more ethereal or haunting. It's perfect for adding atmosphere to a breakdown section or intro. Next, reversing sounds. Reversing a sound can give it a dreamy, otherworldly feel. Imagine reversing the sound of rain falling or the chime of a bell. Instantly, you have a unique texture that adds depth to your track. Layering with reverb and delay. Adding effects like reverb and delay can help blend organic sounds into your mix. Reverb will give your recordings a sense of space, while delay can help repeat subtle elements, making them feel more rhythmic and intentional. Lastly, EQing for clarity. Finally, use EQ to make sure your organic sounds don't clutter the mix. Cut out unnecessary frequencies, especially in the low end, so they sit well with the rest of your track. Here's a quick tip for workflow. Create a library of your own recorded sounds. Each time you capture a new sound, add it to a folder organised by type, ambience, percussion, transition, etc. That way, whenever you're working on a new project, you'll have a library of custom organic sounds ready to go. Also, don't be afraid to experiment. Organic sounds are often the most exciting when you push them in unexpected directions. Try things out, make mistakes, and keep discovering how these textures can elevate your lo-fi tracks. That wraps up today's episode on recording and using organic sounds in lo-fi music. I hope you've been inspired to go out and capture some sounds and start weaving them into your own tracks. I know I have. Remember, these organic layers can give your lo-fi music that extra texture and warmth, making it feel more alive and emotionally resonant. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing it with fellow music producers who might find it useful. Until next time, keep creating, stay inspired, and remember, it's all about the vibe. Take care and see you in the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the LoFi Music Academy podcast. If you're ready to start making lo-fi music and want to go even deeper, grab your free guide. Discover the 6 essential steps to create a release-ready lo-fi track from scratch. Whether you're using budget gear in your bedroom or a small home studio, this guide will help you get that polished, dreamy lo-fi sound you're after. Just go to www.lofimusicacademy.com. Until next time, keep creating those laid-back vibes, and don't forget to subscribe for more lo-fi tips and tricks.